Hello everyone. Welcome to a Java and Journeys with Jillian. If you're new here to my channel, my name is Jillian. How are you? It is a very rainy Saturday afternoon. I am heading to the Food and Wine Festival that's been going on through October to the end of November. And I haven't actually been able to enjoy the festival or try any of the tasty treats. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Food and Wine is going to offer this year. Also, I did not realize that it was going to be raining. I literally walked out of my house and just assumed, like, oh, it's just overcast. But it is sprinkling right now. I'm hoping it doesn't get much worse than what it is, but I may duck into Connections over at EPCOT and grab a jacket to try to stay a bit dry for you all. So with that being said, I am looking forward to showing you what some of the different stalls have and what are some of the foods that are hits, what are those that are misses, and along the same line, what are some of those foods you should probably enjoy. So come along on this journey with me as we head into the Food and Wine Festival at EPCOT. I am totally looking forward to getting down to some amazing food and some beverages. And I want to quickly correct myself. So we have officially started the month of November, and I had mentioned that Food and Wine started last month. It actually started at the very, very end of August and has been rolling through to the end of November. So it's actually been going on for quite a while, but I actually have not been able to, as I was saying earlier, try any of the food for the Food and Wine Festival this year. I believe this is my second year, so I've been living in the Orlando area for about a year now. Last year I was able to go to the Food and Wine Festival and it was really good. And I tried like a few different dishes on a couple of different occasions. Because of the length of time that it runs, especially if you're a local here in the Orlando area, there is a ton of time and opportunity to try different things. I have some travel planned for work here in the upcoming weeks ahead. So I wanted to go ahead and get in some time at the Food and Wine Festival today because I don't know if I will be able to get another visit in before things wrap up here. I think I will. And if I am able to come back, and if there are some different things that I'm trying, I'll definitely be sure to take you all along with me. But as you can see, it's a weekend here at EPCOT, so it's pretty busy. There are a lot of people around. It has stopped raining, thankfully, so I don't have to take out a mortgage to get a jacket here, because I would not have purchased a poncho. I would have actually purchased a decent jacket. I was telling my husband that I may need to look in just keeping an emergency jacket in the car, because in Florida, sometimes you'll get like spontaneous rains, storms, even though the weather may say like 10% chance of rain, 20% chance, then all of a sudden it starts coming down. So I'm like, it may be helpful to just have an emergency jacket in the car for inclement weather needs. But overall, I am actually fine with the cloudiness. I'm fine with the overcast because I do not want the sun beaming down on me.
I'm crying, you didn't get me no job.
So this is good. Like, this is the weather that you want on a park day. Maybe just a little bit of rain, not pouring, to cool things off. And with us being in November now, it is not as hot as it has been. We are now in the 70s. And I'm hoping that by the time we get through to November, we'll actually be in like the lower 70s/60s. And I can actually break out a crew neck sweater or two, because you all know how I love my crew neck sweaters. Friends, we are going to start our food journey at Communicore Hall. All right, here are our macatizers, all food themed around macaroni and cheese. I think we are going to start off with the truffle macaroni and cheese and cheesesteak macaroni and cheese. Let's go. And here is the mac and cheese. Of course, you can see to the left we have the cheesesteak mac and cheese, and of course to the right we have the truffle mac and cheese. And I wanted to show you all that you can pick up this food and wine guide. Let's just say if you happen to come to EPCOT, even if you have no intention of trying anything, but you just want to look and have a guide to figure out what your strategy is going to be. If you think you see something that's interesting, you could pick this up, and it has basically all the food in all the different pavilions that are featured as a part of the festival. If you purchase select items from certain stalls, which is listed toward the back of this particular version of the guide, you get a special stamp, and I think that may culminate in you getting like a small bonus item at the end. I've actually never done this, so I'm going to be very candid with you all, so do your research on this on your own. And if I do end up getting stamps on these things and getting some type of special menu item, I will definitely be sure to key you in. But otherwise, looking forward to tucking into this mac and cheese. Okay, so let's talk about the macaroni and cheese. It's fine. It's nothing exceptional. I felt like both were pretty good. I think the truffle macaroni and cheese is exactly as it sounds. You taste the truffle oil in it, but it's not overwhelming, which is what can happen when things have truffle oil in it. But, you know, it has the breadcrumbs at the top. It's fine. It's not the greatest macaroni and cheese I've had. It's not the worst. I level set my expectations when it comes to mac and cheese. I particularly like my macaroni and cheese baked. It's clear that this is not baked, but it's good. It's fine. The cheesesteak macaroni and cheese I actually felt like had a bit more flavor, but simply because that has more components in it. So you have like the peppers, the onions. The beef did not taste dry. It had good balance, good flavor, not spicy or anything like that, which I like. I like a good little kick to a lot of the foods I enjoy oftentimes. But yeah, I think this is a solid start. If I had to rank everything out of like 5 stars, I would give this one, you know, maybe a 2.5 or a 3, which sounds really low, but we have to hold a high bar. We cannot start off the gate giving everything a 4 and a 5. We're not going to do that. We're going to be real. We're going to be honest here. I definitely think that for the value of your money, with the macaroni and cheese being, I want to say it was around like $6 each, it's a decent-ish value. Now, the portion size is not massive, but in all honesty, you don't want to fill up on pasta right out the gate. I think that it's good to have the portion size a little bit on the smaller side. But if you wanted to fill up on macaroni and cheese, this will not fill you up. Like, you would need a little bit more to feel completely full, especially if you've been walking the park and you're putting in those miles at the park. But if your intention here is to try a little bit of everything, I think the portion size is appropriate to what they're charging you. You do get many bites. It's not just a couple of bites and then you're done. So I appreciate that. $6 for good macaroni and cheese, good flavor. It's fine. I'm okay with this. On to the next. So showing you all some of the merch that's a part of the Food and Wine Festival. We're going to start with the Mickey and Minnie theme merch, which you can see here. You have these very cute plate ears, and then of course aprons, because how can you have a Food and Wine Festival without an apron that you can purchase? And all of this is incredibly cute. And I love the colors, and of course the Mickey stuffed animal. And then as we walk over, you see more of the Figment themed Food and Wine merchandise, which I also think is equally adorable, right? How do you not love Chef Figment? And it's funny because my husband and I were having this conversation about Figment, and it is so great that they made him the mascot of this year's Food and Wine Festival. I think last year it was the Orange Bird, which I ended up purchasing a mug that I absolutely love and drink out of to this day. But it's funny because we feel like they really have done Figment dirty, especially with Journey to Imagination. And if you know, you know. If you've been to EPCOT and you've been on Journey to Imagination, I don't want to insult you if maybe that's your favorite ride. For me, it has to be one of the most disappointing rides at EPCOT, let alone Disney, because they essentially took the essence of the original ride, completely changed it due to some mechanical issues they were experiencing, left Figment out of it, and then added him in later. And now it just looks like a cheap kind of like fill-in version of Figment throughout the ride. It doesn't look like they made it intentionally with him in mind. And so hopefully maybe one day they'll change it. The only reason why they changed it before is because people who are lovers of Journey to Imagination made a big uproar about it. But if, let's just say, Figment is not your vibe, of course they have the Mickey and Minnie merchandise, and then you have a lot of Ratatouille references as well, which makes perfect sense, right? And something else I want to point out, in the guide, the stamps that you can get for certain food items are all themed around cheese, based upon the character Emile from Ratatouille. And if you get at least 5 of those items, as you all saw on the menu, like I said, I think you get some type of specialty like cheesecake or something at the end, but all of it's themed around cheese. So we'll see if we end up getting all 5 stamps. And you have options you can choose from, so you don't have to get everything that's listed on the very back as a part of the stamp program for the Food and Wine Festival. All right, let's head on to our next stop. Okay, we are headed to our next stop to get some grilled bison. I've never had grilled bison before, so I'm looking forward to trying it out. And speaking of Figment and Journey to Imagination and how they did our friend dirty on this ride, we are behind Journey to Imagination. And I will show you all what the full menu looks like. We are about to go to is Bramblewood. And you see the menu here. And what we are going to try is the grilled bison with the butternut squash puree. And also what is equally neat is that you can see the grill back here. And sometimes I wish that there was like a smell-o-vision when you go to certain places, because it has that like nice smoky campfire aroma.
Does anyone want anything else? Because right
that
now
is very quintessential fall. Well, let's go ahead and get into the line. I also want to point out that there is a spiced apple old fashioned, and you all know that I love an old fashioned. If you did not catch my Sir Davis review, check that out, Beyonce's new drink. One viewer commented you should try Sir Davis in an old fashioned, and I plan to do so. I'm contemplating whether I want to try this spiced apple because it's not an old fashioned. This is made with rum. It's inspired, and I'm like, do I want to dabble in that? Is it worth the $12? I don't want to be disappointed, so I may actually pass on that and save the calories for something else, but it sounds interesting. All right, we have our grilled bison on a bed of sweet potato puree. I'm totally looking forward to getting into this. This looks delicious. So remember, the price for this was $8.75. Again, I think for what this is, the portion size is good. We'll try this out. and I'll let you know what my thoughts are. While we walk to our next destination, I will tell you all the grilled bison is very delicious. I definitely think it was giving me Thanksgiving vibes, right? It had that sweet potato puree, that huckleberry gastrique reminded me a lot of cranberry sauce. All the components in it were good. The bison was cooked, it looked like to about a medium juicy. I will say that I wish that the bison had a little bit more like salt and pepper to it, but overall, all the components together, very delicious, very savory, and gives you that hint of sweetness. So I will say if you don't like that sweet and savory combination with meat, you're not going to like the grilled bison dish. But if you don't mind those combination of flavors, that will be the thing to get that I highly, highly, highly recommend. Again, I would probably give that one like a 3.5. Very delicious. I just needed a bit more salt and pepper on that bison. So let's check out our next stall that we are going to try another treat from. Okay, we are at Forest and Field. And then here's a peek at the offerings at this particular stand. So we have autumn chili, the pumpkin mascarpone ravioli, and the burrata. I love me some good burrata, so we may get that, but what we're really here for is the pumpkin mascarpone ravioli. And then you have some of the beverage options here. And then here's the line, and I would say a little bit more about the line situation. So you're going to have lines and queues at most of the stalls. What I would recommend is just, execute some patience. They go by pretty quickly, so I don't mind waiting in line. Granted, we're very early on in this journey here, but typically, especially last year when we did the Food and Wine Festival, I never had to wait more than 15 minutes to get my food. So like the order, get the food from start to finish. So you will have longer waits for the more popular stalls, but overall, just be prepared to wait, exercise some patience, have some water, always stay hydrated when you're in the Disney parks in Florida, and you'll get through it just fine. And here's a view while we're in line of the crowds. It's so funny to see it so busy, considering that after our 5K, and when we came in, it was practically dead. So it's hilarious to me to see it teeming with so many people and folks just packed everywhere. It felt so empty when we got in right around open, and it felt so nice to just walk through and to feel like you're one of the only few in the park. That was a great feeling. But either way, Food and Wine is very popular. It's one of the big attractions here at EPCOT. So looking forward to getting through these crowds and continuing on this delicious journey. Here is our butternut squash mascarpone ravioli. I'm not gonna hold you. This is looking a little dry, but we're gonna try it and see if the flavor is there. That I am going to give a 2.5. It was delicious, but only delicious. And when I say delicious, it's good either way, but exceptionally delicious when you had the hazelnuts and the mascarpone cheese. And it wasn't evenly covering or coating the ravioli. So just note that if you were to get that particular dish, should Disney ever have it, because by the time I post this video, I don't know that the Food and Wine is going to be still going on. But make sure that you get a full bite, essentially, with all the components to make the most out of the dish. While we're over, we walked by the Swirl Showcase, and we are going to try the liquid nitrogen frozen sweet potato mousse, which was located directly across from where we got that mascarpone ravioli. What a view. And especially of our sweet potato puree here. This liquid nitrogen sweet potato mousse looks good. Now, it is cracked. I guess, like, should I complain about that? I don't know. Y'all, I am not like any type of restaurateur or, you know, someone who's exceptionally bougie. It's Disney. I know what I'm getting and what's up when they're trying to serve a ton of people at one time and get folks in and out. As long as it tastes good and it looks, for the most part, okay, which this looks good. And it's such a unique item, so we'll see. And how can you be upset when you have like this view while you're enjoying your liquid nitrogen sweet potato mousse? Let's get into it. You know how sometimes you can speak too soon? I was just talking about how lovely this view is. I feel like the Disney devil was just like, oh sis, you think you're going to enjoy this? Oh, this is an item that so many people are raving about. I'm about to show you. Y'all, not that it was bad. It just has like a funky texture. It kind of feels like a mochi that was frozen and then unthawed and then you let it sit out. It was just a weird texture. And even with the crumpled like walnuts, the chopped walnuts on top of it, I mean, that gave it texture, but it needs something else. And the flavor is a bit bland. Like, it's very sweet potato, but it tastes like a sweet potato pie that was not made correctly, which is an affront to my people. Also, my husband who was with me, who's been like my little co-producer, was telling me that they intentionally cracked it. And it's probably to get some of that syrup that you all saw like through the cracks to maybe give it some flavor. It needs something else though. This is not it. And it's funny because we were just talking about the fact that this is the item that everyone's been raving about, and this goes to show you, and not to say that they're incorrect, because everyone's palate and taste buds are different. I cannot tell you some of the things that people hype. I try it and I'm like, this is overhyped. It's not terrible, it's just not for me. It's off texture. It needs more flavor. It just needs something else. Again, take it or leave it. It's just not for me. I would definitely give this one probably a 1.5. We've taken a few bites. We're going to toss the rest, but we're going to spend our calories in the view elsewhere. We are passing by the Canada Pavilion, headed to the UK, where we are going to try a strawberry basil alcoholic drink that I believe has some gin in it. Hopefully it should be good. We were actually just talking about, speaking of the Canada Pavilion, trying the beer cheese soup, but we have had that before. And so we're going to just skip over that. We're trying to focus on a lot of the things that we've never had or can't get at other places. All right, we are going to wait in the line for the drink here. And again, though a cloudy day, a beautiful view. Here and getting the strawberry basil cocktail.
I don't think I like that.
And I don't know if you all peeped this out, but this cocktail is $17 motherfucking. So my expectations are going to be a bit more elevated because $17, 17 USD for one drink. And we're not like at any type of specialty restaurant. We're not at a fancy cocktail bar. You best believe that elderflower liqueur better be popping. So let's see what this drink is serving and what it's with. Here is the drink. Right now it's giving me slushy. It's giving me something that you could have maybe gotten Obviously in a different cup at the 7-Eleven. With this, I would have rather them just keep that garnish at the top. That's actually quite comical. You see what your $17 can get you here at Disney. We're gonna give you a little bit of a sprinkle here. The garnish is a cool $10. All right, let's try this. I will talk about the drink as we're walking. Okay, it's good. It's good. It has some good flavor. I think the strawberry tastes a little artificial. The basil is good in it. And you all may hear screaming. There is a child having a full-on meltdown. Can I just say, thank you. Can I just say really quick that, you know how people talk about if you can survive a trip to IKEA, like you and your partner, then you're set?
Just right.
What they need to talk about is if you can survive a trip to Disney with a family, and the family has to be with a couple of kids involved. Because I have seen all manner of meltdowns and I feel so bad for those families. And you will know the strength of your family unit when you come to Disney, especially on a hot day. Kids are tired, they're cranky, they're ready to go take a nap or do something else. Your partner is asking you 50 billion questions about what we're doing, where we're going. You are trying to figure out what you're doing, where you're going, while keeping everyone in a positive mood. That is what we need. We need someone to talk a bit more about testing the strength of the family unit by your ability to survive a Disney World trip. Also, I got a compliment on my shoes. This is the second time I've gotten a compliment randomly, and I never would have thought. So I'll show you all when I am not walking what my shoes look like. Literally, they are cheap shoes off the TikTok shop. I paid $5 for them. Super cheap, but I just love the color. They are so comfy. Many of you all have probably seen them. They're like foam at the bottom. So are they the highest quality? Hell no. Did I pay more than $10 for them? Hell no. So I'm okay with the quality not being the best, because is it getting the job done? Absolutely. Do my feet feel supported? Yes. Are they hurting? No. I feel like I am walking on a cloud right now. So if my $5 TikTok shoes give me compliments and they keep my feet from blistering, and I don't feel like I want to hurt someone because I'm in pain, then we're all good. We are all good over here. So going back to the drink, the strawberry tastes a little bit artificial. I do like the basil, but I don't like that they gave us the drink without a straw. So we're on a quest right now to see if we can find a straw, because it's hard to drink because it's frozen if you don't have a straw. Like, what the heck? So see if we can find one and finish it off. I feel like I should just always put an asterisk with a statement to retract or correct what I say sometimes, because I am not the Disney expert, but this is also not a Disney specific like vlog. This is me documenting and sharing my experiences at Disney with you all, simply for the fact that I basically live like up the road from Disney. I practically live on Disney property, so my co-producer has just let me know that straws are actually not available at the food stalls and stands that they have here at Disney as a part of their environmental sustainability program, which I have all respect for. As you let the drink melt, if you were to get like a frozen base cocktail, it does of course get easier to drink. I was just like, how am I supposed to drink this without a straw? I'm even surprised that they don't have paper straws, but maybe they're just like, we're done so with it, unless you are inside a restaurant. So that's just a heads up. If you're someone that needs a straw to drink any sort of drink, just be prepared to bring your own straw just so you have that on hand. I also want to show you all, because we're near the France Pavilion, what the menu looks like here.
All right, bye.
And
Let's go this way.
you get a lot of interesting items, and France ends up being quite popular. Now, I am all for some good brioche, and I also saw the beef bourguignon, which I've had that at other restaurants before. Otherwise, I would come through here and try it, but we're trying to focus on newer items. Girl, I don't know how to pronounce that top bar, and I'm not even about to embarrass myself and get anyone who speaks French beautifully or who is French coming for me. So we're gonna bypass. I don't want to embarrass myself trying to pronounce this, so we're gonna move it right along. All right, we are passing through France, and it is a beautiful evening. The lights just came on maybe about 30 minutes ago while we were waiting for our cocktail, and it is just absolutely stunning. This is what I love about EPCOT, and I talked about this while I was running my 5K, but I appreciate the fact that EPCOT truly, to me, of all the parks, feels like it transports you to those countries. Now, some people may say you need to get out because it's not indicative of what the countries actually look like, and I imagine that that's so. This is just a piece, right? It's just a little snapshot, and that's how we're treating it, because your girl's not a jet setter yet. We're hoping to get there, but I love the fact that I feel truly that I'm immersed in different cultures, in different spaces, all in one place. So I appreciate that about EPCOT. Also, I wanted to add on to the comment I made about, bring your own straws, which that's still a good pro tip. Another place you may be able to get a paper straw is Starbucks, but yet and still at the food stalls, you're not going to get a straw. And this just goes to show you, I actually don't drink a lot of cocktails at Disney. And I'll say more specifically at EPCOT, typically because it is too hot for a cocktail. Right now, the weather is nice. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. So it's good cocktail weather for me, but I feel like I would get so sick if I did the whole drinking around the world, which I know is a popular thing to do. And one day, hopefully I'll do that. But it's just not in me to drink a cocktail, especially like the super sweet cocktails, in the heat, walk around and think that I'm not going to get sick. Like, it's a recipe for disaster for me personally. But moving on to our next destination. And we are walking by the Japan Pavilion, not getting anything here because we didn't see anything that seemed exceptionally interesting. But again, just want to show you how beautiful it is. Like, girl, come on. You cannot tell me that this doesn't show just a little piece of Japan, right? Like, I know we're living in a fantasy here, but this is just absolutely beautiful. I love walking around EPCOT at night. Another park that I love walking around at night is Animal Kingdom, but Animal Kingdom has such short hours that typically you can get a good night walk in when we're actually in this time of year because it's getting darker earlier. So one of these days I will be taking a jaunt through Animal Kingdom and living my best life in the evening because it's just absolutely stunning, especially depending on what parts you're in. The lights, the glow, the vibe, it's just absolutely beautiful. All right, we are walking by the American Pavilion, and as you can see over here to my right, we have the American Adventure. And there's also a performance going on, and so during the Food and Wine Festival, they always have performers come on, and they have some really great performances. I miss Hanson. I am so bummed that I missed them, but we were dealing with the hurricane and all sorts of things, so we just completely dropped that date. But we are heading over to the Joffrey stand, to try an allegedly delicious coconut latte-based drink. It's Java and Journeys. You all know how we do it over here. We have to have a coffee in our journey. That's the whole point, right? So we're going to go over to the Joffrey stand here and see what this specialty latte is giving. So we are going to be trying the coconut banana cream pie latte. Peep out the $6.50 price tag, which is about on par with Starbucks. So it is what it is. It's all good. I'm just nervous, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Joffrey's has done me dirty. So we're gonna see though. You all want to hear a little bit of salacious gossip. So while we were walking through the American Pavilion, there was this couple. They were full on making out. And, you know, I don't really think anything of it when I see these public displays of affection, because I'm like, oh, that's nice, you know, whatever. I'm going to mind my business, okay? We're going to mind our business over here. But what I thought was hilarious was there was this lady, she's actually standing in front of me. She was so irritated. She was staring at them, and she's a person that looks like she is from a prior generation, if you all know what I'm saying. And she was just looking like, if you hoes don't get a room and quit that nonsense at Disney. That was the look that she was giving them. And I thought it was so hilarious. And if I wasn't a respectful person, I would have tried to film the whole thing, but I'm not trying to have anyone come for me, so I did not do that. But it was just so funny. So here is our banana cream pie latte. It looks good, but we all know looks can be deceiving, so let's try this out. Yeah, that's not bad. I was a little bit concerned because I thought it would taste very artificial, like with the banana, because anything that's flavored banana typically tastes very artificial. This doesn't. I get a hint of banana. I actually don't get a strong banana flavor. I get more coffee than anything else. So this is not a bad drink. I definitely feel like if you need that hit of caffeine, you want a little bit of sweetness. I'm actually shocked that it doesn't taste like overly syrupy sweet. It's not bad at all. So dare I say that Joffrey's actually treated us right on this drink. I would recommend it if you're okay with something that is lightly flavored. I do taste the pie part of it, but it's very light. It's not strong. You don't get a lot of artificial flavoring. I would probably give this, like, again, maybe a 2.5 because it doesn't have a stronger cream pie flavor, but it's there. It's just like a hint of that. So, yeah, come on over and try it. Just want to let you all know, I let my co-producer try the banana cream pie coconut latte, and he does not like it at all. He feels like, and I just want to share that perspective, doesn't taste banana at all, doesn't taste the cream pie flavor, has some coconut, but he actually feels like the coffee tastes a little bit burnt, which is interesting to me because I'm more of a coffee drinker than he is by like a long shot. So it's interesting to me that he's getting that flavor, but also he's not as much of a coffee drinker as me. So it may taste a little bit more burnt to him, whereas to me, I've had my fair share of burnt coffees. I don't think it tastes burnt, but like I said, I gave it like a 2.5 because it's not strong with that banana cream pie flavor. I feel like I taste a hint of it, but you're not really getting a lot of it. So do with that information what you will. We are passing by the German Pavilion, which is actually going to be our next stop. We are going to get in the quest to continue getting our stamps for Emile's Fromage Challenge. We're going to get a noodle dish actually here at this pavilion and maybe a beer as well to share. We're going to check out the line because the line is typically pretty long. Most things at the German Pavilion are wildly popular. So we're going to see if we can eyeball it out. And while we are walking, I will also say that like this shop we're passing by on the right that has this line, oh my gosh, like you can get some really good caramels. I particularly like the caramel popcorn. It is so good. And they have like these whoopie pies with like a caramel based cookie. Everything is like caramel there. And it is absolutely delicious. But we have made it to our destination here. I'm going to show you all. Here is the menu here. And actually, I see the menu with pictures, so let's go over there so you can get a visual. All right, so here are the dishes. And this top one, the Schnickennudeln, y'all, I don't know. Please, my German folks, I am trying my best. Let me know if I was even remotely close. But that looks delicious. We have bratwurst on a pretzel roll and the apple strudel. But the Schnickennudeln, we're going to try that out and see if it's any good. All right, here is our noodle dish. Do not make me try to say it again. The cheese is very potent. It has a strong odor. But I'm looking forward to this because I feel like this is going to taste like this is almost just as reminiscent to me of like my baked macaroni and cheese that I like. And I know it's not the same kind of cheese, but this is like how I prefer macaroni and cheese to look versus the stovetop method. Yeah, let's get into this. We are at the refreshment outpost and we are going to try the Impossible Spicy Sausage. And you see, I am so interested in the curried chicken and South African sausage stew, but it sounds a little bit hearty. Another popular item that we've heard a lot about is this chocolate amarula mousse. But I think for now, because we are starting to get a little bit full, we're just going to stick with the Impossible Spicy Sausage, which looks like, as you can see, a very small bite. All right, here is our spicy sausage, and y'all are going to be like, this heifer just said that she was just getting the sausage. Okay, listen, the mousse should be light. We're going to try both of these out and see how they are. Okay, everyone, it is starting to rain. So we are heading to Living with the Land as our last pit stop before heading home. So I wanted to go ahead and chat with you all a bit about some final thoughts. So the Impossible Sausage at the refreshment outpost was delicious. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that that was a standard sausage. Absolutely good. The mousse was perfection. That is probably, when I compare it to the sweet potato pie mousse that we had a little while ago, infinitely better. The mousse had set. The white chocolate was like a perfect, like thin layer, not too thick. It was so good. So the dessert, I would give a 3.5. The sausage, about the same. Those are some of the better dishes that we had, along with the noodle dish from the German Pavilion, the two best I think that we've had. But overall, like a really great experience. There wasn't anything that I felt was like absolute garbage, although my co-producer feels differently. I think he feels like the worst thing we had was the Joffrey shrimp because we didn't even finish it. But that's okay. You know, you win some, you lose some with Joffrey's, and it just is what it is. And I know it is so dark and you all cannot see me and you're like, Heffa, please invest in a better camera. Listen, give me some more views. Have you liked? Have you subscribed? Comment. What dish would you have tried had you been here for the Food and Wine Festival? And if you have been to the Food and Wine Festival, what are some dishes that you recommend? Because I'm hoping, depending on the timing of my trips, that I'm able to make one more visit to the Food and Wine Festival before it wraps up. With that being said, thank you for joining me on this rainy, delicious journey. I will catch you all on the next one. Have a good one. Oh, and by the way, because you know I'm the queen of saying more after I've already did my outro, the TikTok shoes. Let me show you what those look like really quick before jumping on this boat. All right, this is actually perfect. So we're sitting in the boat right now before the ride starts up, but you see, these are super comfortable. If I had the link from the TikTok shop where I purchased these, I'll let you all know, but I've gotten compliment. They are neon yellow, but they come in all sorts of colors. And $5. And thank you for putting up with my shenanigans, guys. Catch you on the next journey.